Hello and welcome to our Food Nutrition Project training. This is going to be a two-part series with this first part focusing on our food show contest and the 23-24 contest guidelines. So as a reminder, before participating in anything 4-H related, you must be enrolled in 4-H online. We do ask that if you're going to serve as an adult volunteer, coach, or a leader, that you also get enrolled through 4-H online. If you will be taking kids to and from contests, especially if they are not your own, please get registered. If something were to happen while driving to an event, you wouldn't be covered under our liability, and then some more issues would arise because of that. And then obviously, if youth are participating, all youth must be enrolled in order to participate. If they are not enrolled prior to turning in their food show recipe, they will not be allowed to compete this year. So as I mentioned, part 1 is going to cover more of our food show, and then part 2 will take care of our food challenge contest. But prior to getting into the second part, I just wanted to give a brief overview of the two contests and the key differences between the two of them. So food show is going to be our individual contest where you pre-select a recipe based on a theme, you prepare the recipe at home, and you use equipment you have at home. You will also participate in a presentation, a skills showcase, knowledge showcase, and then an interview as well. For Food Challenge, that is going to be our team event. It's a team of 3 to 4 members. They receive a key ingredient and a category at the contest. They create the recipe and dish on site, and then they use only items available in their supply box, and they participate in only a presentation and an interview. So for Food Show, we get this question a lot: who is allowed to compete? The age divisions are Clover Kids, kinder to 2nd grade, juniors 3rd through 5th, intermediate 6th through 8th, and seniors 9th through 12th. So this is one of the few contests where Clover Kids are able to participate with all of our other age divisions as well. So prior to talking about selecting a recipe and what the theme is, I wanted to go over real fast the categories that your recipe should fall under. So we have appetizer, which is going to be a small dish or food that is typically eaten prior to the main course. Main dish, which is going to be the heaviest and heartiest and most substantial dish in your meal. Your side dish, which is food usually served along with your main dish. And then at the end, your healthy dessert, which of course rounds out a meal or is served for special occasions. So this year's food show theme is going to be cooking through the decades. So for those of you that have participated in food show in the past, typically our themes will change each year. However, this one will be the theme for the next 2 years. So just take some time to explore some past decade dishes, flavors, or cooking techniques that maybe you aren't familiar with. It could be something like your grandma's favorite famous meatloaf from the 50s, or even a homemade version of a Pop-Tart, which were made popular in the 90s. So just look at some different recipes that fall into decades that aren't necessarily from the late 2000s. And then seniors, keep in mind when you are selecting that recipe that you stay within that 75-minute oven time when selecting that recipe. So again, when you're looking at selecting a recipe, explore past decades, dishes, flavors, or cooking techniques. Dishes can be inspired from any past decade and should be recreated to be a healthier, safer, and more nutritious option than what was created in the past. And then obviously pick something age appropriate. So if you are a senior, your recipe should show the skill level of a senior age division. Versus if you're a Clover Kid, obviously that's going to be a little bit more of a simple recipe versus what our other age divisions would be doing. So the food show has 3 main parts in it. There'll be a knowledge showcase, food show presentation and interview, and then a skills showcase. Each food show participant will participate in all 3 of those, except for our Clover Kids. They will only be doing the interview portion of this event. So real fast on the presentation and interview, this is going to be part 1 of the food show. So Clover Kids, you will do a question and answer with the judges. It's not going to be something where we hope that you have this long spiel memorized, just talking to the judges and getting comfortable with talking in front of people that maybe you don't know. Juniors, intermediates, and seniors, you will have a 5-minute max presentation. And within that presentation time, make sure you're covering the inspiration of your dish, how it relates to the food show theme, how it fits into my plate, different nutrition, the food prep that went into it, and then some different food safety steps you followed throughout the process. Then you'll go into a 4-minute interview, which is going to be more of a question and answer style. And questions could be general food nutrition knowledge, scorecard related, um, maybe ask you about some new skills you learned while creating this dish, anything like that. And then you'll have 1 minute to serve your dish to the judges so they can look at it, and if they choose to, they can taste it. Onto the skills showcase, which will take place directly after your interview with the same set of judges. Again, Clover Kids, you will not participate in the skills showcase. Junior, intermediate, and seniors, you will. These skills will be age appropriate, something that is realistic and common that the kids should have done in the kitchen already. And then it will be scored based on the correct completion of said skill. Those materials and scenarios will be provided day of, and it'll be something the kids do not know until they finish their interview portion. So this skill could be anything like selecting a liquid measuring cup, properly measuring brown sugar. For seniors, it could be conversions of different measurements while cooking, anything like that. Again, this should all be skills that they're already doing in the kitchen, that they're just going to show the judges that they know what they're doing in the kitchen. Then the last part, which will actually take place first at our food show, will be the knowledge showcase. So this is another opportunity for us to see what the kids are actually learning through our food nutrition project. So again, it'll be age appropriate. Everyone but Clover Kids will participate in this. There's 10 questions, and it'll either be multiple choice, true or false. There won't be any fill in the blanks or anything like that. There aren't study materials provided. However, and I'll put this on the county webpage, there's some different resources out there that the kids should look over, like My Plate, Know My Nutrients, basic food safety, stuff like that, to be able to answer the questions that they'll receive day of the contest. And as you can see, there's a couple of examples here as to what those questions may look like. So it could be, true or false, is vegetable juice considered part of the vegetable group? Or where should you take the temperature of a food? So here's a real quick presentation example, and I'll get this put on the county webpage as well. If you're not sure where to start, this is a great starting point to figure out the flow of a presentation and how you can cover all the parts of the scorecard within that 5-minute time frame. So again, this will be put on the county webpage along with this recording. So feel free to look at that once you find your recipe and you're starting to create your speech. So now I'm going to go over some county-specific rules for our food show contest. Like I said, Clover Kids, juniors, intermediates, and seniors are the ones who are able to compete in this contest. Recipes must be uploaded through our county webpage. If they are emailed, texted, or dropped off at the office, they will not be accepted. It needs to take place on our county webpage. And then the new deadline, if those of you who have already seen the October 1st deadline, the new deadline is going to be October 6th. So you'll have time to watch this presentation and maybe it'll answer some questions that you had about this contest. After October 6th, if you still would like to participate, we will take some late registrations. However, it will cost $10 to participate in this contest. So if this is something you want to do, definitely try to hit that October 6th deadline. If for some odd reason you can't and you still want to participate, it will be $10 after that. Serving. So in the past, we've done it where it's just been a single serving. However, we are going to go back to the old ways of doing it where the food should be presented in a serving dish with a serving utensil provided by the contestant. Do not bring just one serving. Bring your whole recipe because following interviews, participants are able to taste your dish. Sorry about that. If they choose to. However, I do want to state that you are tasting that at your own discretion. And Texas A&M AgriLife Extension in Tom Green County is not liable for any sicknesses that may arise. So once you've gone through the interview process, if you would like people to try your dish, make sure to bring plenty. And then we'll have some plates and utensils for them to be able to eat with. So you don't have to worry about bringing any of that. Just make sure you bring some type of serving utensil and enough for everyone to taste if you would like. So day of contest, so just a quick overview. The contest will take place on October 21st at the Tom Green 4-H building, which is right next to Animal Rescue if you do not know where that's at. Registration will begin at 7:45 and go until 8 a.m. If you are not there at 8, you will not be able to compete. So please make sure you are on time because we're going to start the knowledge quiz right at 8 a.m. and then go into interviews shortly after that. And like I mentioned, that skills portion will take place directly after your interview with the same set of judges. And then after your interview is completed, we will allow the tasting, and then we will go into the results shortly after that as quickly as we can. So if you have any additional questions, there'll be some information put on the county webpage for you to look at. But if for some reason this presentation and the county letter and stuff like that, if that does not answer your questions, please feel free to send me an email or give me a call here at the office, and I will definitely try to answer the questions the best I can. I look forward to seeing y'all on October 21st.